She had a West Coast strut that was sweet as molasses, but what really knocked me out was the cheap sunglasses. Hi, welcome back to another One Chart lesson. ZZ Top had some awesome albums when they first started out. A lot of good ones later, but the first 3 or 4 albums that they had really hooked me. And this is one of the songs from that, maybe their second album, I think it was. This is one of those songs. It's called Cheap Sunglasses. If you're a ZZ Top fan, you'll know this song. If not, it's a great song to get a bit of fingerstyle groove going on an acoustic guitar. Now, the original song is in the key of G minor. So you can learn this in the key that I'm going to teach it in, which is standard tuning in the key of E minor. And if you want to play along with the song itself, put a capo on the 3rd fret and away you go. Now, what we're doing here is I'm going to take you through all of these bits. Download your chart, put it in front of you. It's going to make things a lot easier. The main riff is this E minor kind of riff over a G major sort of thing. Now what's happening there is that you've got your E bass note and these 2 notes here. On the original recording, there's an extra note there. It's the G note, and you've got a G major triad here, but we sort of slide up to it from the fret below. So it's 5th fret D string, 4th fret G string, 3rd fret B string, as you would play it in a G bar chord, and you slide up to it like that. Now, to make this sound fatter and fuller, I've dropped that G note on the D string, so we just got those 2 notes. We play with our 2nd and 3rd fingers, and this first finger covers these 2 notes out of our E minor, or out of our E. So you get this kind of chord happening, which just gives you a little room to move, lets you be a little bit messy. If you miss a few strings here and there, everything's still going to sound in the right key, right? So if you want to, you can learn to do this, sliding that pinky up on the D string to the 5th fret, and still play that chord. It's hard work, and this song needs to be as groovy as you can possibly make it. So if you just did that, it would sound good, right? Just those G and B strings on the 4th and 3rd frets with your E string. If you put your first finger across the 2nd fret on the A string and D string, you've got everything covered. So you do this. So it's thumb and fingers together, come back down, slap the string a little bit, and then go thumb on the E string, fingers, right? And then you do 2 on the fingers at the end of that little, and then come straight back down to the thumb. So it's like this. Alright, once you do that, go to our G, we're going G, A, and then back to the E. So for the G, you really only need to hit that G bass note, 3rd fret E string, and those open strings on the D, G, and B. And then go up to the A, hit the A string with your thumb, and put your first finger across the 2nd fret, D string, G string, B string. Don't worry about the B string too much, it sounds too nice and major, but get those chords happening, and then back to the E, right? I'm going to play that through a couple of times so you can follow the tab up in the corner and try and get this groove going, because once you've got this groove, that's the nuts of the song, really. Then, if you want, you can slide up to that E and it sounds even better. And like I said, you can add that pinky, but it's hard work. Wake up in the morning and the lights hurt your head. First thing you do when you get up out of bed, hit those streets running, try to beat the masses. Go get yourself some Stop Everything cheap sunglasses. Now here comes the second part, is this little... Now what we're doing here, hitting the A and E, hitting the A and D string, second fret, with those two fingers, and then bouncing off that E string, A and D string again, open this time, back up to the second fret. So, right? And then you move over to the D and G strings with the same fingers and do that. Preceded by either a note on the E string or a note on the A string. I think on your tab I'll put it on the E string, but this is what it sounds like on the E string. This is what it sounds like if you put that second note on the A string. Very similar, either way, do what's most comfortable for you. The important thing, like I said, is to get this groove going. Oh yeah. Do it 4 times. On the 4th time, instead of going to the A, you go up to an octave A, so 5th fret E string and 7th fret D string. And you do that. And you're muffling the A string with the underside of this finger, and with the rest of this finger you're muffling the other strings. So really you're strumming the strings, but you're only wanting to hear these 2 notes. Again, on the original recording it's a little bit different, but very hard to get that sound. They got some wild and wacky sounds on their recordings. Subtly wild and wacky, if that makes any sense. But have a listen to their earlier albums and they've got some crazy sounds there. So you go 2 strums and then 2 muted strums. So you just release the pressure on those fingers and do that. Like that. Alright, so back into another verse. About a little thing, and I followed her all night. In a funky fine Levi's, and the sweater's kinda tight. She had a West Coast strut that was sweet as molasses. But what really knocked me out was the cheap sunglasses. Same thing. Now we go into a weird little section where he's playing the top 3 strings out of a D major chord, a D major bar chord that is, with an E bass note. And the bass is doing a slightly different rhythm, but it's very hard to do this and syncopate it and keep it going the same way as Dusty Hill, God rest his soul, did it. I think he did something like some groovy little thing like that, but we're just doing this, and then you take that and you slide it down. You play it and you slide it down, that little chord shape, 1 fret. Then the drum roll comes through and you're into the first solo, which I have tabbed out and I'll take you through at the end of this lesson. Again, this little groove is all about kind of, you know, it's all about getting that rhythm happening, and it's that claw hammer technique where you're going back and forth between the thumb and the fingers. You're picking on an A minor chord, and you're pulling it off and hammering it back on. I'll do it very slowly, watch the tab. That's probably the best way to explain it. If I talk too much about what my fingers are doing here, it might sound more confusing than it actually is. So here it goes. Down to G. Up to B minus 7. Then they turn it into a B major. Now that little rhythm that I did through there, through the guitar solo section, it may not be exactly what you have on your tab, but if you work off what you have on your tab or work off what you see here, they're going to be pretty similar. Like I said, the importance is in the groove, not in getting this note for note with what I do. If it sounds good, it is good. After we get up to that B major, you're back into this riff actually. Go through that section again, then at the end of that, it goes back into another guitar solo, which is the same thing, what we're playing underneath with the rhythm. Actually, I'm going to play these two solos fully at the end, so I'll just skip over that now. Second time, at the end of that guitar solo, we're into this riff. And we get this groove going again. For the last verse. Now go out and get yourself some thick black frames. Exactly the same way. Get to the end of that. At the end, it kind of goes weird, and it's very hard to sort of tab this out because it's slowing down. There's a lot of these kind of noises that Billy Gibbons does in the end sort of outro solo. So I didn't tab that out. What you can do to play this riff is you can play it down here. I find it easier to play up here. So you're doing the same thing, but here on the 5th fret, E and A string, and hammering it up to the 7. Or you're actually not hammering it, you're strumming it both times. Then when you go over to the A and D strings, 5th fret, back to the E and A strings, 7th fret, down to 5th fret, up to 7th fret, and you're bouncing around those 3 positions. And you're filling it in with a lot of these kind of ghost notes, muted strums. And it gradually slows down and kind of something like that. That's probably the riff he does at the end. And that is the whole song. Like I said, you really got to concentrate on getting the groove happening for this song, more so than any particular accuracy with these notes that you're playing. I've given you as much of a guide as I can to get a good groove happening, but if you want to develop it and do something different with it, then that's a beautiful thing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. We're going to pull down the guitar solos now. Slow solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.